come and take a camera flash. Jewelry game amazing, car game crazy. Gucci Mela flare, won't you come and see me sight chase?
Hey, ain't the one to play with. Hey. Pull off in a lamb, double pocket all that tans. Mister, get off on your mans. If he hang you disrespect, you better follow up with hands. Losses to the neck, but now I'm trophied up, I'm saying like bing, bop, boom, 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 bop, bam. The type I'm on you wouldn't understand. The type of skits.
Can we rock the boat? Baby. Move like the ocean flow. Baby. And I ain't got nothing on your love boat, baby. You know I want it. You're fiending. It's our world tonight. You're not dreaming, believe it. I please your appetite. I know it's been a minute and you've been in your feelings. Confident when I flaunt it, and you can check up on it. Cause your vibe check right.
All right, here we go. Okay, listen. Welcome to Keon Works TV. You already know how I do, right? We are about to have an amazing time with Vitelle Webb, actress and owner of Us Three Productions, okay? And I want you all to get ready for this because she's bringing this amazing Nine Lives tour to Washington, D.C. As a matter of fact, she's probably already been to your city. If she has, make sure that you leave some comments below and encourage other people to join us in these other cities that she's be coming to. As a matter of fact, we have Atlanta on Saturday and DC in April. And I want to make sure that we spread the good word about what they're doing over at Us Three Productions with the Nine Lives World Tour. Okay, I'm going to bring her on stage in just a moment and we'll be able to hear more about this amazing production. But before I do that, I want to make sure that you all know that the music that was brought to you today is by our very own Amen. And we are so grateful to him that he is sharing his amazing music with us. Make sure that you go to Apple Music and download his music today. You heard Love Boat that I shared with you all earlier. And if you missed that interview with him, make sure that you go back in the archives of Keon Works TV and make sure that you go see that video. He's a wonderful, amazing guy that you all have to get in touch with, okay, and follow. And then I want you to make sure that you saw that we are hosting an all black everything. Yes, I said it, all black everything, okay? Photo shoot. This photo shoot is going to wow people. We're going to be in the DMV DC area and we're going to go downtown and we're going to wow people with our all black ladies. We're going to come through like the bosses and queens and amazing women that we are, okay? And we're going to have all black everything photo shoot, 75 of us taking over the city. I can't wait to see you there. If you want to know more information, just make sure that you're following me on the other pages with hashtag KEOM Works at gmail.com. Keon Works at gmail.com. I'm about to bring Vitelle on, so let's make sure that you give her an amazing welcome. All right. Hello, how are you, Vitelle? It's so good to see you.
Thank you. It's so good to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my goodness. When I heard you sharing on Fanbase that time, I said to myself, yes, this is something that I want to get behind. This is something that I definitely want to support. And so without further ado, please tell people a little bit about you and what you're doing.
Oh man, it's hard to tell a little bit about me because I do a lot of bits, but I am an actress, model, and entertainer first. I'm the CEO and founder of Us Three Productions, And we are doing a lot. We're on a world tour right now. Created 9 Lives, which is a one-woman show all about healing from trauma. So I kind of just decided to mix together my arts and entertainment world with my testimony and my humanitarian side that enjoys helping other people to overcome and to triumph. And I put those two things together, and then you had Us Three Productions was born, and we have been just going full force ever since. That's the
You know,
little bit version.
we're losing a little bit of humanity and nowadays, aren't we? We're just losing a little bit of humanity nowadays. I love that you said that, because that humanitarian part of us, if we could all tap into that.
So what a world this would be.
What a world this would be, right? If we could all just tap into that. But
Right.
yeah, I enjoyed reading your bio, and I read that you were involved in some other productions as well. So if you want to just briefly share, so that people can maybe know a little bit about what you have done and what you have worked on.
Well, honestly, I've done probably 100 movies at this point. I don't know. I stopped counting after 50 because
Right.
I just work. I'm not one of those people that says every time I'm booked, look, I'm booked this, booked that, booked. I
Mm-hmm.
just working. So I don't honestly remember half the time until someone mentions in an interview the things that I've done. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I did do that. Or if
Mm-hmm.
somebody like tags me on a clip or something and says, I just saw this on TV, and I'm like, oh yeah, I
Right.
did that. So I'm just you know, unlike a lot of other actors these days, it's like usually it's all about the fame and wanting to be known and all of these things. But I just have a passion for this, and this is a gift that I was born with, as far as I know, because I've just always been doing it. So, and I operate in that, but I don't necessarily want fame to come from it. Unfortunately, that kind of comes with the territory when you start doing these things consistently. So yeah, but I've done a lot of different projects, from film to television. I moved to Atlanta in 2009. My goal at that time was to work with Tyler Perry, so I accomplished that within a couple of months. And it just was another check on the list of things that, when I set my mind to it, I do it and make it happen. And so I did a lot of work with him between 2009 and 2013. And then, just been traveling ever since. I founded my own production company in 2 years ago, right after the pandemic. So it kind of pushed me, like so many other entrepreneurs right now, kind of pushed me to say, you know what, let me create my
Yeah.
own. Because even though I've been doing what I love to do full time for more than 20 years now at this point, I feel like I still wasn't completely fulfilled until I put forth what God has in me to birth out. And
Mm-hmm.
so even though I'm doing other people's projects and stuff, none of them were really hitting the spot to where I feel like they were impactful. So I'm more about the impact than the fame and being known. Who am I impacting, and what legacy am I leaving behind with the projects? Otherwise, what's the point of the project? So all of
Well,
our
you know what?
productions have a point.
You said something that you weren't completely fulfilled.
Mhm.
That is so key in today's times. I tell people all the time, you can absolutely do exactly what you love to do, right?
Mhm.
Like you said, you had opportunities to work with one of the well-known producers and movie producers and writers in the
Mhm.
world right now.
Mhm.
Very fulfilling, but
Mhm.
it wasn't that thing that just made you tick,
Right.
right? And
Mhm.
being able to tap into that and accomplish this goal. Did you ever have any time of self sabotage? That will it happen for me? How will this happen?
Self-sabotage is a big thing in my playbook. Like I said, with my show, I deal with healing from trauma, so that is a very big trauma response, and one that I
Hmm.
have been guilty of a lot in the past. So I can honestly say I would probably be a billionaire and household name if I did not self-sabotage multiple times throughout my life. So I've had a lot of, really close calls with the success, or what you would consider, the next level. and I've run away from it, whether it was a fear of success or just allowing myself to be distracted, even though I knew it was a distraction, and all of those things. I have literally self-sabotaged my entire life up to this point. This is what you're seeing now is where I have drawn the
Mm-hmm.
line, and I'm moving forward because I choose to not self-sabotage, even though it is a natural instinct because it is a trauma response that I've always experienced. I recognize it now and I'm able to catch it and be like, no, 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 we're not doing that today. So yes,
Mm-hmm.
self-sabotage is
Uh-huh.
a big thing. And
Yeah.
I even think that fear of success would be like fear of success. Usually people are afraid of failure. I'm not afraid of failing. I'm not going to fail. Like that's period, point blank. It's the success that's scary. And I don't know exactly why, but I recognize that in myself and I'm fixing it.
I choose.
Mhm.
Vitelle said a few minutes ago, I hope that everyone caught that. Just in case you didn't, let me repeat it again. I choose. What are you choosing today? What are you choosing for your outcome for today? I know that the day is almost gone, but even with the last few hours you have set before you close your eyes to rest, what do you choose to define your day as, define you as? Okay, so I love everything that you were just sharing, Vitelle. And I heard you share that, of course, there's some things that you had to heal from, that you had to grow through, without telling us everything, but with, how to tell us enough. How did this come about, Nine Lives?
So Nine Lives, so it is a one-woman show, and I'm going to show you guys. These are the characters. These are all played by me, and it is basically telling a memoir story of my life. It's based on the book that I published also during the pandemic called I Am a Poetic Ensemble. And each one of the characters tackles a different experience that I have been through, a different type of trauma, from childhood trauma to domestic violence to divorce, human trafficking, homelessness. We kind of cover it all, that I had experienced up until that point of publishing the show. So yeah, that's basically how the show came to be. And it wasn't supposed to be a one woman show originally. It was just because of the pandemic and the fact that I couldn't hire actors like I normally would with my shows.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't have a crew and all of this stuff. I was just like, I'm going to have to be everybody. So I was all of the characters. I was the makeup crew. I was the cast and the director and the producer and the camera person and just all of the things. So it's a lot more than nine lives being played to bring the show together. But since the world opened up after the pandemic, we were able to hit the stages with it. It was done on
Yeah.
Zoom prior to that. And so it was, virtually worldwide. And then we started hitting the stage with it and been getting requested here and there ever since. So in 2025, kicking off the top of the year, January, we decided to do a 9-city tour, which is the first for this show. It's the first time doing that with this show, but it's also the craziest thing I've ever done in my entire career, to say we're going to be at these 9 cities no matter what,
Mm-hmm.
point blank period. That's what we're doing. And just start walking by faith and lining it
Mm-hmm.
up. That's what's been happening behind the scenes, and between the setbacks and the distractions and all of the things that, the enemy don't like
Mm-hmm.
us doing nothing good in the
Mm-hmm.
world. So
Nope.
as soon as we made that commitment, then here it came. And we have been just pressing for me and my amazing team. I could not do it without them.
Right.
And yeah, all these cities, is people are anticipating us coming to their city and bringing the show, and we are not quitting, not stopping, and not self-sabotaging whatsoever.
Listen, the setbacks are real. I'm
Right.
gonna tell you, even with doing this show, I believe in being very transparent.
Mhm,
Even with doing this, like I explained to you while we were off camera, now that I'm having to do everything behind the scenes on my
mhm.
own, there are
Yeah.
some times when I'm even like, uh, am I doing this right? How is
Mhm.
this showing up? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then you have to like shake yourself
Right,
and
right.
say, you know what? I say it to all the time, just push the button.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
just
wow.
push the button.
That's
Okay.
literally was my last words right before I published my first book. I kept saying, just push the button, just push the button.
Push the button. What
That's
are
it.
we waiting for? Just, and what are you waiting for? Just push the button. you
Yeah.
know? And
Exactly.
so, yeah, that's why I asked earlier about the self sabotage because I know even here with me, I battle with a bit of it here and there myself.
Right.
And then, well, I don't have the right background because now my
Mhm.
background is packed away, right? And so then you're like, well, maybe I should just reschedule. But I want people to know that
Mhm.
this is what building up community means. This is
Yeah.
what it means by
Mhm.
showing people that we push through anyway,
Exactly.
anyway,
Exactly.
right?
Yes.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. And just like that's the thing that I say in almost every interview. It's like you just got to show up. You don't have to show up perfect. You don't have to show up ready. You don't have to like I had to take a 10-minute power nap prior to this interview and I didn't have my hair done, makeup done, wasn't dressed
Hmm.
nothing. I was like, I have to take. I literally just had. I don't know if I was crying or sleeping. It was one of those cry yourself to sleep for 10 minutes things. I had to process so that I can show up because I
Hmm.
wasn't ready and I wanted to cancel. And, I just can't do the last minute canceling thing. It's just not in me. But, and I know like the worse I feel before an interview, the more impactful it usually is. That's usually how it goes. So I know that oh, if I'm feeling this bad or I have this many setbacks trying to keep me from doing something, then that is the something that I'm supposed to be doing. And so I have to fight through and focus on just getting to that point. And then I usually see once I get there, this is why, no wonder the enemy was trying to stop me so hard. So yeah, it's necessary to just show up and not let all those excuses pop up into your head of why you shouldn't or you should wait until you have enough money, until you have enough time, until you have like whatever. It's all just show up because people need to see more real at the end of the
And
day.
and I think that because people have gotten so used to seeing content that they
Right.
don't even see everything that goes behind
Hmm.
creating the content,
Right.
you know,
Exactly.
because we want to give them this glamorous picture and we want to
Hmm.
write, and then they'll get to the play and they'll be like, well, this looks amazing. I want to do something like this, but they don't see that behind the scenes. You just said, I have an amazing team. I have
Yes.
a team of people that are with me,
Yeah.
that support. I have, even if I have a bad day myself, I have this team that is working with me. And
Yeah.
so if people, could you give people like maybe one or two tips on, how to press forward in doing something like this if they dream to maybe starting a production company or having their own play? Any advice for them?
Yeah, I mean that's the whole reason that I do go live behind the scenes even before the show is ready and set up because like when I tell you I'll be dropping my phone all over the place and everything like y'all just gonna have to deal with it because this is what happened. So
Hmm.
I want them to see the real and I always advise people that if this is something that you are passionate about or that you want to pursue whether it's entertainment or writing a book or whatever that may be for you, you have to just know that this is a part of your purpose, a part of God's plan for your life, that you're passionate about it, because that's the only thing that's going to keep you pushing through when it
Mm.
gets bad. Because it's not a matter of if, like it's a big win. So it's like life is not going to be perfect every single day, and especially anytime you have a big dream. So you just have to continue to show up and press through it. So I apologize, a little bit of distractions behind
No,
this
it's okay.
control. But yeah, so I just say put one foot in front of the other, no matter what, because trust God to take the next steps for you at the end of the day.
Put one foot in front of the other, and that's the best we can do, right? That was
Mhm.
an awesome thing to lead us into our next commercial break. We're going to take a quick commercial break, everybody, and I hope that you'll stay right there. Listen, the next segment, we're definitely going to talk about where you can get these tickets, okay? And those of you, if anybody buys a ticket, should I drop the secret? I didn't even tell Vitelle, but if someone buys a ticket today during the show, I will go ahead and gift another ticket for that person. So listen, you want to make sure that you stay in tune so that you can find out where you can get your tickets. We'll be back.
Um,
come and take a camera flash. Jewelry game amazing, car game crazy. Gucci man a flare, won't you tell me see me say chase?
Hey, ain't the one to play with. Hey. Pull off in a lamb, double pocket all that tams. Mister, get off on your mans. If he hang you disrespect, you better follow up with hands. Losses to the neck, but now I'm trophied up. I'm saying like bing, bop, boom, 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 bop, bam. The type of I'm on you wouldn't understand. The type of skits.
Can we rock the boat? Baby. Move like the ocean flow. Baby. And I ain't got nothing on your love boat, baby. You know I want it. You're fiending. It's our world tonight. You're not dreaming, believe it. I please your appetite. I know it's been a minute and you've been in your feelings. Confident when I flaunt it, and you can check up on it. Cause your vibe check right.
All right, so we are back. We are back. I needed that sip of water, y'all. Make sure that you hydrate, okay? Make sure that you're drinking your water, all right? Because hydration is necessary, okay? And a lot of things that we have going on with us is because we don't stay hydrated. So make sure that you have your good, nice little bottle of H2O, okay? I just thought I'd throw that in there for free. But let's go ahead and get Miss Vitelle back up on stage with us so that we can hear all of the fun of what she has coming up. And yeah, I had to throw that in there, Vitelle, because you know people they're not drinking enough water.
Drink that water. You are so right. And you know, it's funny you should say that, because a lot of times I find like when I'm working too much, when I'm stressing a little bit, when there's a lot going on, like just drinking some water. And then I realize like, oh, I haven't hydrated today. That's probably part of the problem in addition to exhaustion. But yeah,
right?
Drinking water, all of that stuff definitely helps.
Stay hydrated. That's all we have to do is just sip on a little water every once in a while. But yeah, listen, so I know that you all probably heard a little bit of what I shared before we went to commercial, but I wanted to make sure that we go ahead and do a big push in the last segment of the show about the 9 Lives World Tour. And is this something that you wrote and produced? Is that what this is?
Yes. So it's a little bit hard to explain because honestly, I don't feel like I can take credit for much of it. This is definitely a God thing. I did not want to do it. The whole vision of it came to me, and it just started to kind of create itself. And I just had to say yes, very reluctantly at the time, but I still said yes nonetheless. And yeah, and that's just how it came to be. I literally started pulling out wigs and dresses and all of the things to create these characters that go along with what I'm sharing of my story. So it kind of created itself a little bit, but definitely give credit to God for all of it, because I definitely would not have done it if it wasn't something He put on my heart to do.
Now, I think I put this banner up, 9 Lives World Tour, right? It's the 9 Lives World Tour. But it's the 9 Lives World Tour, and you can find tickets available on Eventbrite, right? And I believe that will be under 9 Lives World Tour, correct? So make sure that you all get that correction. Okay, all right. And 9 Lives World Tour, and April the 5th, you'll be here in the DC area.
Yes, that is next up. We're in Atlanta this weekend
Mm-hmm.
on the 8th, March 8th, and then the
Mm-hmm.
following show will be in DC. And that one is very exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time because it's my first time in DC at all. So I've never been there. When I tell you
Okay.
it's a huge leap of faith, especially for myself, but for all of us. And the pressure is on a little bit when, especially when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to tackling on new cities. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
the tour so far has been places that I've been, well, except for Raleigh. I had never been to Raleigh, but it really wasn't, it was a hop and skip over, hop, skip, and a jump away. But with these other cities coming up, we're talking about Washington, D.C., Houston, Texas, Boston, Massachusetts. I'm like, we really got to travel to these places. These are
Yes.
far and out of my comfort zone. I've never
Mm-hmm.
been to any of them before. I don't have a fan base there as far as I know, but it's just amazing that when I get to a city that I've never done a show in or anything, and then the people were expecting me there and like were anticipating. I had one lady in Orlando, even though I've taken plenty of vacations there, so I'm familiar with it. I've never done a show there before. And she's like, I've been waiting for 3 years for you to bring one of your shows here. And I'm like, what? So you
Mm-hmm.
just never know how much impact you're having on people who are
Mm-hmm.
watching that you, and that's why I say just show up all the time,
Just show
because
up.
if you
Yeah.
have four people tuned into your live, like out of those four people,
Mm-hmm.
you never know how much one of them needs it. And I'm all about quality over quantity when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to making an
Mm-hmm.
impact. And so, yeah, just show up. And we're showing up to these cities where people are expecting us to be there and show out. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, whoa, like that's where the fear of the success comes in, because it's like that expectation that I gotta do this now. Like I've set the bar high for even myself, and now I gotta show up and follow through. But that's where I say, you just gotta really trust in God, especially you have to know that this is something that He has purposed you to do, and trust Him, because that's the only way I can see any of this stuff happening. Like anything that we're doing right now, I would not be able to do it if I didn't know this is my purpose and my calling. I would have been quit, because I
Yeah.
could be drinking water, minding my business somewhere. But I'm like, I
Okay.
could just I could just be working with Tyler Perry and living in,
That's right.
a nice house and minding my business. But that's not what I'm called to do. I'm
Mm-hmm.
created for a bigger purpose. And I know that the things that I go through, my testimony is not for me, it's for everyone
Something
else.
else.
And so I
Yeah.
have to show up for that.
I remember I did my first women's conference. Wow, this had to be over 20 some years ago. And I remember being so nervous leading up to that. And when you said if there were four people here, that's what matters. And I
Mhm.
remember being so upset. I think it was like maybe 13 people. And I remember being so upset,
Because you want to
you
be
know,
solid.
and I didn't take in that moment.
Yeah, yeah. Been
And
there,
and
done that.
even afterwards, I remember many of those young ladies that attended, I'm still in contact with to this day.
Yes, quality.
So, right. So, when you said that, I thought to myself, you're
Mhm.
right,
Yeah,
because you never know who you're impacting. And
that's
out of those 13, I probably still talk to seven of them to this day,
that is
still, and
awesome.
check in, So, you're right. You don't know who you're impacting.
Mhm,
And that everything that you do, remember that God is very intentional. He's
mhm,
very intentional with who he puts in your path. He's very intentional that I just so happened to be on an app called Fanbase, and I
mhm.
heard Vitelle speaking. I didn't know her. I hadn't heard.
Which is crazy because I don't even think I've
Yeah,
heard of the app, and I'm not like, somebody must have put me on there. I don't know. Like,
I'd have no clue how I got the information. Either somebody was promoting it or someone was talking about it, and I was like, I need to know more, right? Like, and I have no clue how things happen, but that's
yeah.
how intentional he is.
Exactly, that
Yeah,
part. I
yeah.
love to see it come together. It's like a lot of little puzzle pieces that
Hmm.
I'm not putting them together, but I'm just showing up in front of the puzzle. And just like, oh, this piece, okay, just kinda, but God is just orchestrating the
Just
whole
do your
thing,
part.
and it's
I'm just gonna
like,
do my part, Lord.
mhm, exactly. And half the time, I don't even be wanting to do that, I ain't gonna lie, like, but I just show up and like,
I
"Okay,
just
here I am. Yes, Lord.
I'm
Yes,
just gonna do my part. Okay.
yes, to the West." And then it's like, and then by the time it's over with, it's so worth it. It's so worth it in
Hmm.
the end. it. And I've been there, done that when it comes to having that small audience. And, you know, with the stuff, with the topics that I deal with, they're so detrimental, like literally life saving. So I tell my team that all the time. And especially with the
Yes.
show coming up, I'm not going to lie, Atlanta has not been my most sold out performances, which is why
Mm-hmm.
I tend to work everywhere but Atlanta lately. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving Atlanta another chance and I'm showing up and I'm like, you know, hopefully it sells out. But even if it doesn't, at the end of the day, I've had those smaller shows where someone came up to me and who was feeling like ending their life by the
Yeah.
time it's over with,
My Lord.
choosing not to. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh my God, if only this one person showed up, that's serious. Like that's a
It's
big deal.
serious.
So I'd say
Yeah.
that every single time when it comes to this show, I try not to think about whether or not it's going to sell out, whether or not it's going to profit. If I have to come out of pocket, I do that. Even my team, like a lot of them have been willing to come out of pocket to help. And like, it's just the way it falls together. But I don't worry about the quantity of it because I know the quality of this show. And I know that those who are supposed to be there are going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just going to show up for them and expect a miracle to happen no matter how many people are in the audience. And I remind the team of that every time so they can, you know, really show up as if it was a million people in the audience because
That's
someone
right.
needs, you know, that same, you got to bring
Show
that
up.
same energy, that same, yeah, and we go
Show.
hard no matter how many people show
That's right.
up.
You better show up. And, you know, like you said, you don't know who is in the audience, but then you don't know who may know somebody that knows somebody, right? And it could just be that day to have that big break. So, but yeah, everybody, make sure that you go on over to Eventbrite. Make sure that you type in the Nine Lives World Tour and buy your ticket today, okay? And for if for surprise for anyone that goes and purchases their ticket and says that they were referred or they saw the show here, for that first person that lets Vitelle know that, I'll go ahead and purchase your second ticket for your person so that you can have two tickets. So yeah, if you buy your ticket today or if you buy your ticket after seeing the show and you're the first one that reaches out to her, guess what? You've got two tickets.
I got something to add to that actually, since we're doing that. If they want
Hmm.
to text, we can give them a code word, which could be like the name of your show or something that they can
Oh,
text it to a phone number, and that'll make it even more specific that I'll know they got it from here and I can get
awesome.
the information to you. So I do have a text number that you
Hmm.
guys can text, and that is 770-626-5075. I'll say it
Uh-oh.
again. Yep.
7. Hmm.
770
Hmm.
626
Hmm.
5075. So I'll let you come up with the code word, but if they text me that, then I'll know that they got their ticket from your show.
Got it. Okay, we'll put in Keon Works. Okay, and
Okay.
I will for sure. I'll definitely push that as well. And when you get the opportunity, if you are not familiar with Fanbase, it's an app. And listen to me promoting his app. He's not even, but 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 I'll go ahead and do it, right? So Isaac Hayes the third, he is in Atlanta as well. Isaac Hayes the third started an app called his Fan Base, and this Fan Base app is to bring your fan base, right? So we have audio rooms. You can post just like on Instagram. You can do lives just like we're doing here. You can do audio spaces. You can do paid flicks rooms where you can get paid, rooms that are private and everything. So it's a really good space, and I will definitely be over there promoting as much as I possibly can, because I absolutely love everything about this, breaking strongholds, talking about depression, and everything that life. Let's
Yes,
just say life, right?
exactly. Everyone can relate to that.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody can relate to that, and we have definitely gone. Oh, we're at 35 minutes. That's awesome. So, Listen, I absolutely loved everything about this. And what we can do is maybe reschedule in a few weeks and have another show where you can come on and we can have some more conversation. I would love to maybe get some people to come in that have seen the show, and we can have everybody come on and we can have some conversations around what they got from it.
I
I
would
think
love
that would be
that
awesome. Yeah, that would be awesome. So, yeah, let's do that. And when you come to DC, you already know that I'll be there.
yes,
So,
absolutely. Absolutely.
yes, indeed. And so I love it. I appreciate it. Anything else you want to share with any the people before we all get ready to end the show?
Man, I feel like, enough said for real, but like I said, just make sure you show up. And for those of you who don't know, behind the scenes, so I'm smiling, I'm here, I'm showing up, but behind the scenes, I was just in a serious car accident a few days ago on the morning of my
Mm,
birthday. And so I have been, because I haven't had time to stop and process that, because that
yeah.
was a traumatic experience.
Mm-hmm.
Here I am, I deal with healing from trauma. So I
Yeah.
know, what's wrong with me right now is that I haven't processed that. But I have to continue to show up because I have a show coming up and it's very important, and I can't, I can't drop the ball on it.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you guys this to say, like, I'm living proof of what I'm telling everyone else to do. I'm actually doing it. I have to practice what I preach and continue to show up. Now, it is also important for me to take a break, which I really very much need right now, especially after that experience and
Yes.
process that. So I do intend to do that immediately after the Atlanta show. I will take a
Hmm.
couple of days and step away
Yes.
from social media and everything for a
Yeah.
moment. So I'm
Definitely.
having to time it accordingly, because I refuse to drop the ball on the Atlanta show. It's just a distraction and I'm going to keep pressing through. But again, it's just a matter of showing up. I was not ready tonight. I threw my hair together, threw some brows on, and showed up just plain and simple, plain, I just had to make sure that I got here. And
And you look amazing.
thank
You
you.
look amazing.
As long
Don't
as we're
worry.
still alive, God's got a purpose for us. And
Yes.
I did not leave up out of here on my birthday. I'm still here, so I'm gonna still keep pushing and showing
That's
up.
right. That's
That's
right.
that part.
And that's it, is that we're still here, right?
Mhm.
And so as long as we're still here, we're going to continue to show up, okay? And I want you all to know that we can continue to show up. I'm going to go ahead and get the show wrapped up. I'm going to put you back down in the green room. I'll be back there in just a second, but I have so much enjoyed this. This was absolutely amazing. And you all know how we do here at Keon Works. Keon Works, right? What does it stand for? Keeping each other motivated works. I believe that encouraging you encourages me. And I want you to bring the world the best of you and not what's left of you. As you see, we interviewed Vitelle Webb, actress, writer, producer, and all of the above, and with us three productions, and she's bringing the Nine Lives World Tour all over the place right now. This weekend it'll be Atlanta. In a few weeks it'll be Washington D.C. So to all of my people here in the DMV area, I expect to see you there. We're going to talk about life, because life is lifing, right? Life is lifing. And I want you all to know, be encouraged, break through those strongholds. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't. Who told you that you wouldn't and you shouldn't? Who told you that you would not be who you dream to be and achieve the goals and things in your life that you would all that you dream about, but that you not only dream about, but that you could be? All right. I want you to start owning it. You walk in it. All right. Now you dream big. I want you to go dream a little bit bigger. All right. So listen, we will be back. You know, I'll have another interview for you soon. For those of you that are subscribed, make sure that you share it out. Remember, sharing is caring, okay? And I'm looking forward to having you on the show as well. If you're interested in coming on, make sure that you send me an email at keonworks@gmail.com. Okay, so that you too can come onto the show and share with people all of the amazing things that you are doing as well. All right, because I know there are some people out there that are doing big things in the community, and I want to bring you on the show. Okay, so thank you again for watching, and I guess I will see you at my next show. Okay. All right. Thank you to my sponsors. And I love you all for always coming and showing up for me. Heavenly Choice, Miss Erica Dennis. Thank you, Miss Sherry Christie, for always believing in me and being so supportive. I appreciate you. And these two ladies are working heavily with me on the new all black everything, and I hope to see you on the all black everything photo shoot as well, ladies. Okay, that'll be March 23rd. So I guess with all of that said, I'm out.